Hello students, you know that we are going through the poem. The title of the poem is Cherry Tree. This poem is written by Ruskin Bond. We have discussed the whole poem. Now we are turning towards the activities that are provided to this poem. See the page number 68. In the brainstorming, some activities are given. Activity first, in it there is the first, find proof from the poem for the following. We have to find out the proof that is given here. We have to find out the proof from the poem for the following. See the number A. The poet has mentioned different seasons. Is this correct? The poet has mentioned different seasons. Yes, we have gone through the poem and we can easily find out that in the poem the poet has mentioned different seasons, correct? The line, and suddenly that summer near the end of May, mentions summer season, correct? Summer season is mentioned and the line is, and suddenly that summer near the end of May. Then monsoon season also mentioned in the poem. The line is, split it apart and a monsoon blight, correct? This line shows that monsoon season is mentioned. Then next line, next spring I watch 3 new shoots grow. This line shows spring season. This line mentions spring season, right? Next, the line, who watched wandering while time and the rain, mentions the monsoon season, correct? All the 4 seasons are mentioned here. What are that 4 seasons? Summer season, monsoon season, spring season is mentioned, correct? Thus it can be concluded that the poet has mentioned different seasons, right? Next, number B. The poet's minute observations of the steady growth of the cherry tree. Look there, what is given. We have to find out the proof from the poem for this. The poet's minute observations of the steady growth of the cherry tree. What is the proof for this? काय आहे प्रूफ? पोएटनं मिनिट ऑब्झर्वेशन केलं. कशाचं? ते चेरी ट्री कसा लहानाचा मोठा झाला त्याचं मिनिट ऑब्झर्वेशन केलं असं म्हटलंय. कोणत्या गोष्टी याचा पुरावा म्हणून या कवितेमध्ये दाखवून दिलेले आहेत? द नंबर फर्स्ट, द पोएट प्लेस द चेरी सीड इन द ग्रास. नेक्स्ट, near the end of May, the poet found a tree had come to stay. Number 3, the plant was very small, 5 months child. Number D, next spring, the poet watched 3 new shoots grow. Next, the young tree struggled to thrust upward. Next, the poet waited as time and rain miraculously turned the green growing pane into a tree. It can thus be proved that the poet has minute observations of the steady growth of the tree. पोएटनं खूप काळजीपूर्वक त्या झाडाच्या वाढीचं निरीक्षण केलंय. ते कशावरून दिसतं? तर पोएट म्हणतो की त्यानं एक चेरी सीड त्या ग्रासमध्ये ठेवलं. मे महिन्याच्या शेवटी द पोएट फाउंड अ ट्री हॅड कम टू स्टे. आणि मे महिन्याच्या शेवटी त्याला ते चेरी ट्री दिसून आला. ते प्लांट व्हेरी स्मॉल होतं, ॲज अ 5 months चाइल्ड. देन इन द नेक्स्ट स्प्रिंग पोएट वॉच 3 न्यू शूट्स ग्रो. म्हणजे एवढं काळजीपूर्वक मिन्यूट ऑब्झर्वेशन पोएटनं केलेलं आहे कशाचं, त्या चेरी ट्रीचं. ते या गोष्टी दाखवून देतात. द यंग ट्री स्ट्रगल टू थ्रस्ट अपवर्ड. म्हणजे प्रत्येक चेरी ट्रीच्या त्या प्रत्येक वेळेचं मिन्यूट ऑब्झर्वेशन पोएटने केलंय, त्या गोष्टी याच्यातून दिसून येतात. करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट नंबर सी. द कलर इमेजरी इन द पोयम. इज देअर कलर इमेजरी इन द पोयम? What lines show color imagery? The line, answer is, the line made a miracle from green growing pain is proof that the poet has used color imagery in the poem. लाइन कोणती आहे? मेड अ मिरॅकल फ्रॉम ग्रीन ग्रोविंग पेन. याच्यामध्ये कलर इमेजरी पोएटनं वापरली. ओके. नेक्स्ट नंबर डी. The struggle of the cherry tree for survival. Okay, what things show or where is the proof of the struggle of the cherry tree for survival? See there the answer. The line, I forgot but cherries have a way of growing, suggests that the seed planted by the poet took root. ही लाईन काय दर्शवते की पोएटनं जे काही चेरीचं सीड त्या ठिकाणी ठेवलं त्याला रूट्स आले, अशा पद्धतीनं म्हटलं. द लाईन्स, अँड सडनली दॅट समर नियर द एंड ऑफ मे आय फाउंड अ ट्री दॅट हॅड कम टू स्टे. These lines are evidence that the plant was growing despite receiving no care. प्लॅन्टला कोणतीच काळजी न करता ते प्लॅन्ट वाढत होतं. नेक्स्ट, द लाईन्स लॉस्ट इन द टॉल ग्रास रनिंग वाईल्ड. ही लाईन सांगते की चेरी ट्री न स्ट्रगल केलंय. गोट्स एट द लीव्स, द ग्रास कटर सीथीज स्प्लिट इट अपार्ट अँड ए मान्सून ब्लाइट श्रिव्हल्ड द स्लेंडर स्टेम. ह्या लाईन्स दाखवतात की चेरी ट्रीनं स्ट्रगल केलं. इव्हन सो नेक्स्ट स्प्रिंग आय वॉच 3 न्यू शूट्स ग्रो, शो हाऊ द प्लांट ग्रीव बॅक डिस्पाइट सफरिंग मेनी ॲडव्हर्सिटीज. पुढं द लाईन्स, द यंग ट्री स्ट्रगल अपवर्ड थ्रस्ट इट्स आर्म्स इन ए फ्रेश फियर्स लस्ट फॉर लाईट अँड एअर अँड सन, show the determination of the tree to nourish itself in order to grow. These are the instances that prove the struggle of the cherry tree for survival. Correct? We have covered this first. Number second, state whether the following statements are true or false. Correct the false statements by finding evidence from the poem to support your answer. Look the number A. The cherry tree did not take long to grow. We have to state whether the statement is true or false. If it is false, we have to correct the statement by the finding evidence from the poem to support our remark. Correct? And what is the first? The cherry tree did not take long to grow. This is false statement. The correct statement is the cherry tree took a long time to grow, 8 years in all. Right? Cherry tree did not take long to grow. हे wrong answer, हे wrong आहे statement. Correct statement काय? Cherry tree took a long time to grow, 8 years in all. Next, birds and insects were benefited from the tree. Is this statement true or false? Birds and insects were benefited from the tree. This is true statement. Okay. Number C. The poet was exalted at the sight of the cherry tree. Yes. Is this true or false? The poet was exalted at the sight of the cherry tree. This is true statement. पोएटला आनंद झाला ज्यावेळेस पोएटनं चेरी ट्री ते तेवढं उंच झालेलं पाहिलं त्यावेळेस. नेक्स्ट नंबर डी. द पोएट हॅज an underlying message about the importance of trees. Is this true or false? What is the statement? The poet has an underlying message about the importance of trees. This is true statement. Okay. Next number E. The poet repents planting the cherry tree. The poet repents planting the cherry tree. This is false statement. The poet feels richer on seeing the cherry tree that he planted and praises it. What is the correct statement? The poet feels richer on seeing the cherry tree that he planted and praises it. Okay, we have covered this activity. Now we are turning towards the activity number 2. Discuss in groups reasons, consequences, effects. Activity 2 is about discussion. We have to provide reasons, consequences and effects. See there, the first, the life of the cherry tree was threatened. Reasons. What are the reasons? Reasons, the answer is, in reasons, the life of the cherry tree was threatened by the goats, the grass cutter Sithi, and the fungal diseases during monsoon. These are the reasons. Correct? Life of the cherry tree was threatened. The reasons are given here. What are the reasons? The goats, the grass cutter Sithi, and the fungal disease during monsoon. Consequences. Now the point is consequences. Its leaves were eaten. Its leaves were eaten. It split up and its slender stem shriveled up. What were the consequences? Its leaves were eaten. It split up and its slender stem shriveled up. And next point, effect. Effect, the little plant almost died. काय परिणाम होत असतो असं झाल्यावर? ते छोटंसं प्लांट ऑलमोस्टली डाईड होत असतं, पण हे झालं नव्हतं. करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट नंबर 2. द चेरी ब्लॉसम. The number 2 is the cherry blossom. What are the reasons? Reasons, the cherry blossom in due to time and also because of the rain. What are the reasons? The cherry blossom. The reasons are due to time and because of the rain. Correct. Now the consequences. It grew into a big tree with flowers and fruits and filled the poet with joy. This is consequences. Then the effects. The tree attracted and became a home for the birds and insects. Cherry blossom and its effects. The tree attracted and became a home for the birds and insects. We have covered this second activity. Next, number 2. A small thought put in action led to a great achievement. Pick out the lines from the beginning and end of the poem and explain their significance. What is the question about? अ स्मॉल थॉट पुट इन ॲक्शन. छोटासा विचार जर कृतीमध्ये आणला तर त्यापासून ग्रेट अचिव्हमेंट होत असते. हे दर्शवणाऱ्या लाईन्स आपल्याला बिगिनिंग अँड एंड, पोएमच्या बिगिनिंग अँड एंड इथून घ्यायच्यात आणि वी हॅव टू एक्सप्लेन देअर इम्पॉर्टन्स. सी द आन्सर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज must have a tree of my own, I said. This is the line. At the beginning of the poem, this line is given. Must have a tree of my own, I said. The above line from the beginning of the poem merely highlights a small thought of a little child, which he put into action. An optimistic thought leads to action and finally to a positive outcome. This fact should be kept in mind and follow in real life. Okay. Next, yes, I praised nights and stars and trees. शेवटी दिलेली लाईन आहे पोएमच्या. Yes, I praised nights and stars and tree. The small, the cherry grown by me. The last line towards the end of the poem highlights the feeling of pride that the poet experiences because of his small act of planting the seed all those years ago. His joy knows no bounds when he looks at the outcome of his action. His cherry tree in full bloom. Similarly, we should take responsibility for our thoughts about our actions and their outcomes in our lives. We should feel proud of our achievements and make room for more positively all around us. Yes, very simple thought is given here. लहान एखादा विचार तो जर कृतीमध्ये आणला तर त्याच्यापासून मोठी अशी अचिव्हमेंट मिळते, हे याच्यामधून दिसून येतं. नाउ वी हॅव टू स्टॉप हियर. द रिमेन ॲक्टिव्हिटीज विल बी इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. थँक्स.